because I'm joined by not one, not two, but three customer success leaders. And yes, they're all named Mike. So, Mike Philbin, how would you describe the CSM role to someone outside the tech industry?
That's a great question, Jyoti. And it's something that a lot of people always ask, what is a CSM? So we kind of make sure that everyone in the boat is rowing in the same direction and focused on making the customer successful.
But those human elements of empathy, the face-to-face contact, building rapport, building trust and a likability between two different parties, technology just can't do that. And
Trust building is always going to be a human skill. I don't know one technology that can help me build trust.
run to the fire, never run away from the fire. What does that mean to me? It means that if there's an issue, if there's a need, regardless of how daunting it might be, how challenging it might be, if it falls within your comfort zone, just go do it.
I'm Jyoti Murthy, and welcome to the Generative AI Revolution Podcast, where we bring together some of the most brilliant minds in technology and explore how AI is transforming industries and the irreplaceable role of human expertise in the transformation. Today is a special edition. We're calling it the CSM Mic Check. Why? Because I'm joined by not one, not two, but three customer success leaders. And yes, they're all named Mike. We've got Mike Burrell, Mike Philbin, and Mike Milani. We have a packed episode today. We'll explore how the CSM role has evolved, dive into the human element that makes them irreplaceable, and examine how customer success leadership navigates the AI revolution. So before we dive in, let's have each of our leaders introduce themselves so you know who is who. So first up, Mike Burrell, can you tell us about your current role and a bit about your background?
Sure, thanks. Mike Burrell, I'm based in Chicago. I'm currently the regional leader for customer success for the IBM's Midwest national market. I've been with IBM since 2009. I came in through acquisition, like a lot of folks, from a company called SPSS. I've followed analytics my entire career. I've held a variety of roles from training, consulting to pre-sales, and in 2021, I joined the CSM organization, which I'm currently part of now.
All right, amazing. So next, Mike Philbin, same question, your role and your background, please.
Thanks, Jyoti. So Michael Philbin, been with IBM for over 20 years. I started my career as a programmer. I've done various roles like Mr. Burrell has in terms of consulting, moved into management, did some sales, and also ran a global support and data ops for our health side. And for the last 10 years, I've been in the customer success roles and leadership at IBM.
Awesome. And finally, Mike Milani, let's hear your role and your career journey so far.
Well, my career journey, let's see. I've been with IBM for nearly 13 years, coming up soon. And during that time, I've done many things across the sales lifecycle. I'd say my journey began in technical pre-sales, where I was able to partner closely with our clients and help design and position solutions that align with their goals. From there, I transitioned into business development, where I started focusing on identifying new opportunities and building client relationships. And then I took that and moved into technical leadership, where I managed several teams, technical specialists. And today, I have the opportunity to lead one of our customer success teams, where I help ensure our clients realize the value of their IBM investment. Before joining IBM, I was able to work at several IBM clients, so I understand from a client perspective and having firsthand insight into their challenges. And I also had the chance of leading a consulting practice at one of IBM's business partners, which gave me a much broader perspective on our ecosystem and the importance of collaboration in delivering outcomes. So I believe these experiences across these different roles help me have a nice, well-rounded understanding of what the CSM discipline is and what it takes to be successful in this role. So that's a little bit about me.
That's impressive. All right, perfect. So now let's jump into our first segment. We're calling it Setting the Stage. So I want to start with the fundamentals because the CSM role has evolved so much, and I think it's worth really defining what it looks like today. So, Mike Philbin, how would you describe the CSM role to someone outside the tech industry?
That's a great question, Jyoti. And it's something that a lot of people always ask, what is a CSM? So, to me, the CSM is a strategic role for software companies, and it's an essential role. The focus is to be the customer advocate, help them get the value out of their solutions, work with them, growing the relationship, expand the usage, and kind of being a trusted advisor. I think that's one of the key things I think that's key with the role, is that customers perceive it as a trusted advisor, someone that's there to advocate for them, make the IBM relationship a positive one, and we're measured on metrics like adoption and feedback from the clients. So, we constantly want feedback from the customers. It's in preparing for this podcast, one of the things I did actually do was I asked our own AI Watson X to describe, what the role of a CSM is. And one of the lines, which kind of like sums it up, is, the CSM is responsible for relationship management and interaction with the account team and the client, ensuring the expectations are met and exceeded. I mean, we kind of make sure that everyone in the boat is rowing in the same direction and focused on making the customer successful. They want a positive experience with the solutions they've purchased, and we want them to keep using the solutions and buying more of them, and also growing.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. That's really helpful. All right. So, Mike Milani, I'm curious to get your take on this too. So, what is one word that comes to mind when you think of CSMs?
I guess the word that I believe best defines the role of a customer success manager is adaptive. I think in this position, we're constantly shifting gears, we're wearing many hats, and most importantly, we have to balance technical deployment knowledge with a strong understanding of the sales landscape as well. We anticipate opportunities, we need to align the right resources, and we also need to ensure our customers are set up for long-term success. So what does this mean, right? Sometimes that means educating clients on how to get the most out of their software. Other times it's about connecting with the right business partner or service team to drive adoption. No matter the scenario we face, we have to stay flexible and we have to stay focused. So I think doing whatever it takes to support our customers throughout their journey with IBM, that's being adaptive. And it's not just a skill. I think it's a mindset that we have to apply that allows us to meet the customers kind of where they are in their journey and guide them where they want to be.
Wow, love that response. Thank you, Milani. All right. Now, Mike Burrell, let me ask you this. What is the first major outcome you remember seeing from a CSM?
Yeah, good question. And this might be a bit surprising, but the first year I was in CSM leadership and just a few months into the role, the team and I were reviewing our customers' entitlements, upcoming renewals, and part of that process is reaching out and making sure that they were happy with what they were doing, if they need any help, and establish whether or not they were going to renew their subscription, right? With one particular client, we were doing the outreach and we were told that they were no longer going to use a particular product from IBM, that they were going to go with a competitor. Right? Long story short, I secured a lunch meeting with the director and their enterprise architect, and I brought along the vice president of product from IBM so we could talk about it to see if there's anything we could do to save the business, to help them out. There wasn't. They had made their decision, they made their investments, and they were going to stop using a particular IBM product. The key here is that wasn't the end of the interaction with this customer, right? The way that we worked with them to solicit their feedback about what we could do better, the way that we took that back to IBM to improve our processes and technologies, and the way that we stuck with them during the transition to ensure that they had any issues, questions, or problems during the transition off of IBM that were there to help, secured a better long-term relationship in that, despite them stopping using that one particular product, we continued working with them in other ways, onboarding some of our SaaS solutions, helping them get up to speed on some of our newer solutions. And to this day, we still have a good relationship. And I think the lesson learned there is even when the desired outcomes, aren't positive or what you want to happen isn't going to happen, you can create a positive outcome from that by sticking with the client, by maintaining that trusted advisor role and making sure that they know that we as IBMers are here for them.
Oh, wow. That was a fantastic example. Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate it. All right, so we've got the foundation. So now let's move to our next segment, the core value of CSMs. Because here's what I'm really curious about. With all of this talk about AI doing everything, what makes CSMs irreplaceable? So, Mike Burrell, How do you see CSMs build trust with clients in ways technology cannot?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the human factor, right? What do I mean by that? I'd like to call it personal contact and authenticity, right? Technology can provide answers efficiently. We can use it as a tool to do our job better, right? But those human elements of empathy, the face-to-face contact, building rapport, building trust and a likability between two different parties, technology just can't do that. And in the customer success role, that's really what's the most important is for that client to understand that we are there for them, they can trust us, that we're authentic, and we're going to act in their best interest.
Wow, thank you. That was a really insightful response. Mike Philbin, building on that trust piece, what human skills are most critical for CSM success?
I think Mr. Burrell and I've worked together for too long because he kind of used some of the answer there. So, but I think, to Mike's point, empathy is important. I think the thing is that we build trust with the customers. We have a relationship with them, and we listen to them. This goes back to my time in consulting. We listen. We want to be helping them. We have empathy, to help them. And obviously, unfortunately, sometimes when we're working with customers, it's not always great news. Sometimes there's issues and stuff. So being empathetic and being able to help them, being proactive. I think one of the key things that I've always told my teams is don't wait for something to happen. Go do something now. Whether it's if you think there's going to be an issue or something like that, get ahead of it, because it's easier to fix these issues before they happen, and also work with the customer when their back's not against the wall, their systems are down and things. So I think being proactive and collaboration. I mean, and I have an analogy to this, but one of the things is, there's a lot of different parts of the company that work together for the better of the customer. We have sales, we have tech sales, we have consulting, we have support, we have development. And, the CSM kind of, is key in that collaboration, bringing people together. And the analogy I use for this when people ask me about this is I kind of look as a role as a conductor of an orchestra. There's multiple sections of the orchestra, all playing different parts, and together they all make noise. But then when the orchestra and the conductor brings the orchestra together, then they're making music. And I think that's what the CSMs try to do in their skills, is to bring people together for the better of the customer to make music and work in harmony.
Thank you, Mike. That was a great example on understanding where how CSMs work together. So I want to dig deeper into the human element. So how do CSMs uncover opportunities that might not be visible in data? Mike Milani.
Let's see. So I think customer success managers hold a unique position because I think we work directly with the clients, and it's usually often during critical phases of software deployment, right? So in these moments, we're not only just helping them succeed with a project, we're going to start building strong technical relationships with them that can last well beyond that initial engagement. And I really think what makes this role so impactful is our ability to listen closely and identify those needs that may extend beyond our current scope. We can then bring those insights back to our internal teams. We can help shape new sales opportunities and even drive broader software adoption, right? And I think this proactive approach even allows us to expand solutions that truly resonate with our clients and even deliver greater value. So CSMs are really at the intersection of all the customer experience, the technical execution, and the strategic growth. We can bring all of that together. So by staying connected and curious and committed, we ensure that our clients are not only successful today, but are going to be set up for long-term success with us.
Thank you, Mike, for sharing those perspectives. All right, so now we move on to the next segment, the future of CSMs and AI. Because here what I really want to know. How does all this change with AI? Let's be honest, AI is coming for a lot of roles. That's what I keep hearing every day. So, Mike Philbin, how do CSMs protect customer relationships in situations where AI might make errors?
Well, first of all, I think AI helps the CSM team in many ways. I mean, it improves the client experience, automating some of the tasks we do, like onboarding, providing insights and analysis, and providing some, guidance for the customer in a lot of the things they do. But I think that the one area where AI, and if this is 10 years from now, maybe I'll be, be eat my words on this, but I think the big thing right now is, as Burrell mentioned, is the human aspect. I can chat, I can do voice with AI, but the one thing it can't understand or right now or comprehend is the human emotions. If I'm texting with you or I'm sending you an email and you ask me how I'm doing and I say I'm fine could be I'm great when things are wonderful, I'm fine like the world's falling apart, but if you want to know, I'm fine. I think for me, and this is why I've always been a big proponent of like face to face and things like that, is reading the human. It's the human aspect, reading the facial expressions, reading the gestures, understanding, providing that empathy, as we've said. I mean, I think it's not always an easy job because there's going to be a lot of times where there's a lot of issues. And I think having that human aspect and someone just to listen and someone that can actually empathize, I think that's one area where AI, right now can't do that. And, I think as we go forward here, I think that's one area where there'll still be the human aspect. There's a lot of things we can do digitally. We can do things with AI where we can chat and we can get help on things, but it's that human aspect and, it's the listening and seeing the person and just being able to say I'm sorry and let me go fix this for you. That's I think an area where I think the human will protect the customer from AI.
Yeah, that's a great perspective. Yeah, thank you, Mike. So, Mike Milani, so staying on the human side of things, what emotional intelligence skills will remain critical for CSMs regardless of AI advances?
Yeah. You will be able to tell that we work way too closely together because you're going to get some similar answers here. I'll try to put a little different spin on it. So, while AI is going to continue to evolve and really enhance many aspects of our work, this emotional intelligence piece isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon. It's really going to be at the heart of what makes CSMs truly effective. Like Mr. Philbin said here, we need to understand and appreciate that human element. So skills like empathy and active listening and relationship building are going to continue to be irreplaceable. They allow us not to only understand what our clients are saying and what they're feeling, but we can also understand what motivates them, what concerns them, and what success looks like from their perspective. And as I mentioned earlier, adaptability and self-awareness are going to be essential to this role moving forward. As client needs shifts and technology changes, we're going to stay grounded, we're going to stay open-minded, and we're going to be ready to pivot. We have to be constantly. And most importantly, trust building is always going to be a human skill. I don't know one technology that can help me build trust. AI is going to continue to support us with the data and insights that it can provide, but it's our ability internally to connect authentically with our clients that's going to drive long-term partnerships and outcomes. So, keep in mind that this emotional intelligence, it's not just a soft skill, it's really a strategic advantage that helps us deliver value in ways that AI alone is not going to be able to.
Yeah, thank you for grounding that in the human perspective. So, Mike Burrell, I want to flip
Yeah.
this around. How can CSMs use AI tools while ensuring they remain the trusted advisor to the customer?
Yeah. I think my thoughts on this tie in many of the things we talked about already, right? The CSM in general wears a lot of different hats, engages in a lot of different activities with clients and customers. By nature of that, they need to access a wide variety of systems, whether it's, account management systems, contracts and purchase histories, technical support issue systems. And the physical process of finding data in those disparate systems takes time. AI tools can provide a quicker time to answer, I like to say, right? If you think about some of the technologies IBM uses, such as Orchestrate, right? It provides a singular interface where I can touch a lot of other systems without having to go to each individual system. I can ask it questions and get answers. And so as a CSM and acting as a trusted advisor and working with the client, right? Having that at my fingertips, being able to do things quickly and getting answers from these disparate systems quickly, getting it back to the client and offering suitable help, assistance, guidance, or planning, that's really what's important here, right? And so I think it's all about efficiency, ease of access, and how does the CSM turn that around back to the customer to make a business difference?
Wow. Thank you so much, Mike. So much insight on that response. All right, so now it's time to get personal. a small way for our audience to get to know all of you. So we're going to do something fun. This is the rapid fire questions. So say just the first thing that comes to mind. I'm going to start with Mike Philbin. One word to describe yourself at work.
Passionate. I don't know if you want a description of that, but I love what I do. I love the team I have. I've been really blessed in all the time I've been at IBM, 20 plus years. And I love the impact that we have with customers. Going back to my days as a program, I think it's, we have such a huge impact with our customers, and every day, seeing something where we have a winner's success. I mean, working with Milani and Burrell, I mean, we love getting the great rewards from people. I went into customers, and one of the things I hear over and over again is like, I'm so grateful for my CSM. I'm so grateful that they're here and they're helping me and stuff. So it's passionate. I mean, I love what we do, and I love working with IBM, and I love getting up every morning after a cup of coffee and doing this job. Maybe 2 or 3 cups of coffee, but I love doing this job.
Sounds like a blessed life. All right, so next up, Mike Burrell, the best career advice you have received.
Yeah, good question. I got this probably a little over 20 years ago, and it's really simple. And I think it's applicable to whatever your job or role is when interacting with customers. It's run to the fire, never run away from the fire. Um, what does that mean to me? It means that if there's an issue, if there's a need, regardless of how daunting it might be, how challenging it might be, if it falls within your comfort zone, just go do it, right? Just go do it. And that does a lot of things. Number one, it sets an example for your peers, right? It sets an example of proper behavior. What it also does is it shows your customer that you're invested in them. Even if you're not the one that can solve it, you're there to help them. So running to the fire has always served me well. I think it served my clients well too.
Wow, run to the fire. I'm going to have to remember that. All right, Mike Milani, a daily habit that keeps you productive.
Oh, wow. I don't know if answering this question with my manager on the line is going to be a good or a bad thing, but several days throughout the week, I look at my calendar and I schedule a block of about 30 minutes on my calendar where I will stop doing everything related to work and I focus something on something that I would do for myself personally. I think taking these 30 minutes to decompress during the workday makes a big difference. I can go clear my mind, I can reduce my stress, and reset my focus so I can come back and be more productive and energized. I also think it's a good chance to reflect and recharge a little bit, kind of keep ourselves emotionally grounded, which is especially important in customer facing roles, which shift on a day to day and minute by minute basis. So, really, a short break really isn't time lost. I look at it as a way of time invested in doing my best work.
All right, I should probably start doing that too. Hope my manager's okay with that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'll get the phone call later.
All right, so perfect. So now we're going to move into our final segment, closing reflections. As we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something they can take away. Mike Milani, if you had to explain to a customer why CSMs are irreplaceable in one sentence, what would you say?
I would say that CSMs are irreplaceable because we understand the full customer journey from that initial sale to that end user satisfaction that they're looking for. And we help connect the dots across deployment, adoption, and expansion. Now, I could expand a little bit more into maybe a second sentence, but I think that is the primary fact. We're not just focused on one moment in time. We're going to complete that circle by building relationships, identifying new opportunities, ensuring that every step delivers value for them. And I think as part of this, AI is going to support that process for us, but it's our ability to see the big picture and act with empathy and insight that's going to make us essential.
Wow, thank you for that perspective. I love that. Mike Burrell, let me ask you, what's the most rewarding part of being connected to customers in your role?
Yeah, I think it's tied to our name, customer success manager, seeing them succeed, seeing us succeed, right? As CSMs, there's a sense of satisfaction when we take a journey with a client, Sometimes it's challenging. Sometimes there's struggles. Sometimes, there's losses, and other times there's successes, right? And triumphs. And working through that together to get to that end outcome that we're all happy with is amazing. And the cherry on top of this sundae, right, is that we stick with them. We make sure they're still happy in 3 months, 6 months. We look for other opportunities that we can grow and do more great things together. And we build upon those prior successes, right? And so success across the board, it's built in the name, and it just feels good. It feels good when you achieve that with a client.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mike. All right, our final question from Mr. Mike Philbin. What is one skill you believe will define CSM success in the next decade?
I think it's knowing your customer. I think if you look at it, especially from an AI perspective, someone that started out a career in programming on mainframes, so I'm showing my age now, you can't tell. But I mean, I think, we're on a journey, and I think AI is a journey for many people. And for some, they're embracing it, they're jumping on board with it, and, that they can't wait for the next thing to come, the next new model or whatever. Some of them, they're still wondering what agentic AI is and all these different things. And I think it's knowing your customer and walking them on that journey. I mean, we talk about being trusted advisors and being, that client advocate, holding their hand and walking them through this journey. That's where CSMs can really shine. They know they want to do something with AI. They know they want to, dip their toe in the water. And I think that's where we can help. We can say, look, we have experience with many customers, many industries. We've seen these things, and I think that's where this team and CSMs across the world can help. It's like, look, we'll help you on that journey. We'll walk with you. We have insights. We know your customer, and we'll be there for you, as both Mike Burrell and Mike Milani said, to hold your hand and help you through this, because it is a scary endeavor for many people. And I think knowing the customer and being there for them is going to be key.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. What a great way to wrap up our conversation. So it's been a valuable discussion from our CSM triple mic check panel. So the insights you've shared today really highlight the evolving nature of customer success leadership and the critical balance between technology and human expertise. So Mike Burrell, Mike Philbin, and Mike Milani, thank you for joining the Generative AI Revolution podcast. This conversation has reminded me that while AI can streamline workflows, it's the human leadership, trust, and insight of CSMs that truly drives the results. So thanks for driving that home. And for those listening, think about the relationships you lead and how you can deepen them in ways that tech can support but never replace. If you would like to connect with any of these leaders, I'll include their LinkedIn profile in the show notes. So until next time, I'm 𝗄𝗶𝘁𝗵, and this is the Generative AI Revolution Podcast. Thanks for being with us today.